And good evening, and welcome to the Kester's Postgame Show powered by Pizza Hut. I'm Adam Lundy coming to you live from the mic, while our good friend Brett Rump is coming to you from the East DuPont Pizza Hut, coming up there just near Leo, as there was a high school football game of the week to start sectional play tonight between the Leo Lions and the Bishop Dwenger Saints. You heard it right here, and it was a dominant win for Bishop Dwenger over the Leo Lions. Brett, can you hear me okay? Brett, can you hear me okay, my friend? Does not look like Brett can hear me, so we're going to focus on him being able to hear me here soon. But in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and give you a rundown of our H&K Chevrolet of high school H&K Chevrolet of New Haven High School football scoreboard for tonight as we begin sectional play in Class 4A and below. 5A and 6A will start next week. A lot of games have gone final, but yeah, some more still continuing to roll in from in and around the area. But we're going to start off tonight in Class 4A, Sectional 19. It was East Noble getting the win over New Haven tonight, 48-12. It was Columbia City getting the win over DeKalb, 16-10 tonight. There had been some, we talked about this last week. You can't look past the Columbia City Eagles, and tonight they get a 16-10 win over DeKalb to move on to take on Bishop Dwenger, who won 31-7. So yeah, that's a big win for the Columbia City team there in sectional 19. In our Midwest Box Breaks high school football game of the week, it was Bishop Dwenger defeating Leo by a score of 31-7. Moving on to sectional 20 tonight in Class 4A, it was Logansport defeating Huntington North by a score of 15-12. Moving down to Class 3A, everything has gone final in sectional 26. It was Garrett defeating Fairfield by a score of 7-0. Lakeland got the win over Woodland tonight, 32-0. Angola defeated Tippecanoe Valley tonight, 21-6, and it was West Noble shutting out Concordia, 42-0 to wrap up the sectional 26. Moving on to sectional 28 in Class 3A, it was Mississinewa over Oak Hill by a score of 21-7. Jay County shut out Belmont, 35-0. Norwell defeated Heritage tonight by a score of 24-6, and it was Bishop Lures over Delta, 38-7. Moving on to Class 2A tonight in Sectional 35, it was Manchester shutting out Prairie Heights 42-0. Eastside over Whitco tonight by a score of 48-0. Adams Central defeated Central Noble tonight 70-13 to move on to the next round of sectionals. And moving on, we're going to go on to Class 1A, Sectional 43. It was North Miami defeating Northfield 47-6. Fremont defeated Black Hawk Christian 48-10 tonight. Moving down to sectional 44 in Class 1A, it was Hagerstown over Union City 31-13, and Monroe Central over Cambridge City Lincoln 49-0. West Dell at Tri, it was Tri getting the win over West Dell 45-7. The winner of that game will go on to face the winner between Madison, Grant, and South Adams. All right, that's a look at your H&K Chevrolet of New Haven High School football scoreboard for tonight. We invite you to weigh in on our stream. We are streaming live on both Facebook and YouTube at youtube.com/1380thefan. You can leave comments there. You can also check us out at facebook.com/1380thefan. We're also streaming live there. Feel free to leave your comments about any sectional results from tonight, any standout performances, whatever you want to leave a comment on. We welcome all comments. And if you're out driving, want to send in a quick text message while you're parked safely, of course, you can send a message to our text line at 260-447-8500. All right, we're going to go ahead and take our first break here. When we come back, we're going to continue to get final scores from in and around the area. And we're going to be talking to Brett Rump about Bishop Dwenger's dominant win over the Leo Lions in our Midwest Box Breaks high school football game of the week by a score of 31-7. Bishop Dwenger gets the win over Leo. All right, we'll do all that and more when we come back. You're listening to the Kester's Postgame Show powered by Pizza Hut, live on 1380 The Fan and 100.9 FM.
at Coventry Village on 1380 The Fan and 100.9 FM.
And welcome back to the Kester's postgame show powered by Pizza Hut tonight here on the 24th of October as we begin sectional play tonight. And right here on our airwaves on 1380 The Fan and 100.9 FM, you heard a 4A sectional first round matchup between the Leo Lions and the Bishop Dwenger Saints. And it was a dominant win for the Bishop Dwenger Saints tonight, getting the win over the Leo Lions by a score of 31-7. And the man who was on the call of the game tonight has now joined me up at the Pizza Hut up at East DuPont. It is Brett Rump. And Brett, this was a dominant win to start sectional play for the Dwenger Saints.
You know, we've been thinking all year long that the Bishop Dwenger Saints defense, was it enough to be able to carry them through a postseason run? And tonight was our second look at this Bishop Dwenger defense. And I think they made a statement because they held Carroll, a high scoring offense, to nothing but field goals back in the middle of the season. And then tonight, going up against a Leo team that averages 33 points a game, they completely took everything away from Leo. Leo didn't do anything until the very end of the game. And that was the story. I mean, it was Bishop Dwenger's defense. They forced turnovers. The offense turned those turnovers into points, 17 points off turnovers for Bishop Dwenger. And, you know, against that Saints defense, when you start finding yourself down 2 scores, 3 scores, it makes it very difficult to come back. And just a dominant performance by Bishop Dwenger. They did just enough in the passing game to have some balance to their offense, but that's going to be the key. The offense for Bishop Dwenger, if they can score some points, they put a lot of pressure on the opposing team because that defense, absolutely legit. Their 3 linebackers are terrific, and Leo just did not have answers for them tonight.
No question about it. And this actually sets up a matchup next week between Columbia City, who got the win over DeKalb tonight. I mean, we talked about this last week. Don't look past the Columbia City Eagles. We thought DeKalb would be the favorite, but it turns out being a 16-10 win for Columbia City over DeKalb tonight to set up a matchup with Bishop Dwenger next Friday.
It's very interesting because I think DeKalb suffered the read the headlines and, you know, and feel a little bit overly confident in yourself. They got the win over Leo. I think that DeKalb, you know, they get second place in the NE8, but it may have been the dagger for them in the postseason because that's a team that was good enough to beat Columbia City. In fact, I believe they beat them already once this year. In fact, I know they did. And you know, don't count out Columbia City. That's a team that has been somewhat snake bit when it came to postseason play. But that's a good football team. It's a good football program. They're well coached at Columbia City, and you knew that they were going to make adjustments. And the thing is, you know, how many times have we talked about a trap game where a team gets a huge emotional win? Everybody in town tells them how impressive that was. Everybody in town wants to tell them how this is historic and, you know, what a turnaround. And all of a sudden, these are 16, 17-year-old kids that start believing that maybe they're better than they really are. And along comes Columbia City taking advantage of that. What an impressive defensive performance for Columbia City. They've got, obviously, film to look at from the first meeting. They took away what DeKalb did against them in the first meeting. And Columbia City with a huge win. But I'll tell you, Columbia City, be careful what you wish for. You got the win. Now you get to go on the road next week to Shields Field to take on a Bishop Dwenger squad that, you know, we always talk about the SAC schedule. Is it good enough and tough enough to get teams prepared that are in lower classes? When I say lower classes, I'm talking 4A, 3A, and formerly 2A with Bishop Luers, now 3A. But clearly, Bishop Dwenger was the better team on the field tonight. There was no doubt. They were dominating, and Bishop Dwenger, like I said, just took away Leo's game entirely with Nate Foster in the running game. It forced Titus Stoller to try to be a one-man show. And to his credit, Titus Stoller had a heck of a performance as the Leo quarterback. He was running it, he was throwing it, but that's not Leo's game. They had taken them out of what Leo does to win football games, and that is ride the running back, Nate Foster. get yourself into second and short, third and short, because you get 6, 7, 8 yards on first down. They weren't able to do that against this Bishop Dwenger defense. Foster struggled just to get back to the line of scrimmage on first down, forced them into some difficult down and distance. Bishop Dwenger then, as a result, forced a couple of turnovers, and the Saints roll tonight, giving up a touchdown late that broke the shutout. That'll be the topic of film tomorrow morning for Bishop Dwenger. When they all get together, they'll all talk about, you got to finish. You know, you play 46 minutes, 47 minutes of a shutout, and then give up that last minute touchdown. But good win for Bishop Dwenger. They roll in to next week's semifinal, and they'll take on Columbia City next week.
Yeah, and you said it. You know, Bishop Dwenger was able to not only force Leo into making a couple mistakes tonight, too. Dwenger was also able to capitalize on some of those mistakes that Leo made tonight, too.
I'm just sitting here in shock, Adam, because I just got to look at the Adams Central score.
You want to go ahead and read that off?
Well, all I know is at halftime it was 70-0.
Yeah,
Adams Central put up 35 in the first quarter, and then 35 more in the second quarter.
Yep, and that would be all they would need for the rest of the football game. A final score of 70-13.
70 was enough. Good for them.
Hey, you can never take your foot off the gas, but I think if you have 70-0 at halftime, you can kind of ease up a little bit on that gas pedal.
Well, and it's tough because this time of year, you don't want to get into bad habits and all, but it does keep your players fresh, because I'm sure they didn't have to play any of their starters past halftime. But I'm wondering, did the scoreboard survive that battle? Because certainly Central Noble did not. But did the scoreboard survive? I mean, the scoreboard operator, he's going to have to go to his chiropractor and have his wrist worked on tomorrow. That is unbelievable. 70-0 at halftime for Adams Central. And then Bluffton and Cherubusco. What a shootout they've got going in Turtletown tonight.
Yeah, and that one has gone final too. It is a 39-38 win for Bluffton over Cherubusco. But man, what a game! I would love to hear the details of that one.
You know, that was Plan B this week. I don't know if you were involved in our decision-making process. Of course, we've got a committee of like 22 people that all get together in a big room. And
it's like the Big Ten.
Decide what game we're going to do. And the two games that were brought to the table, Leo Dwenger, Bluffton, Busco. And I'm not going to say we picked the wrong one, because these were two good football teams. It was a top 10 matchup. But what a shootout in Cherubusco tonight. That's a wild one. And now Bluffton gets their shot.
Yep.
Round 2 against Adams Central. Can Bluffton pull what Columbia City just did against DeKalb? Can they turn the tables of a regular season defeat into a postseason victory? It's right there in front of them. Bluffton, Adams Central next week. Wow, what a game that's going to be.
That's going to be one heck of a matchup. But man, after seeing Adams Central, like you said, 70-0 at halftime, it's going to be still a tough one for Bluffton next week. But looking forward to that matchup.
By the way, I almost at this point have almost gotten to the point of thawing out. It was a bit of a cold. I feel for the fans. We had a little bit of a break from some of the temperatures in the press box, but I will say that's tough to be able to stick through that kind of temperature tonight. It was a bit chilly. Credit to the fans. Kudos to the fans. They're the real troopers tonight, out supporting their area teams. And we had a nice crowd up in Leo. I'm sure a lot of the games still drew a good crowd, but no, it was not exactly the kind of weather we've been having so far this season. The weather we've been having has been 70 plus. It's beautiful, sometimes shorts weather. But tonight we found out what fall's about in Indiana as we move to the postseason. But why don't you go ahead and give us a scoreboard? I want to get caught up on scores. Yeah. I'm still trying to absorb what I'm getting. I'm getting some text. I'm getting some scores that are being fed to me through email, trying to keep up with everything. Why don't you go ahead and give us an H&K Chevrolet of New Haven high school football scoreboard?
Sounds good, Brett. We're going to start off in Class 4A tonight in Sectional 19, where Southside got the win over Wayne, 52-14. East Noble over New Haven, 48-12. Columbia City defeated DeKalb, 16-10. And in our Midwest Box Breaks High School football game of the week, it was Bishop Dwenger over Leo by a score of 31-7. Moving on to Sectional 20 in Class 4A, it was Lebanon over Culver Academy 39-13, and Logansport got a close win over Huntington North by a score of 15-12. Moving on to Class 3A tonight, Sectional 26, it was Garrett in a close one over Fairfield. Garrett gets the win 7-0. Lakeland shuts out Woodland 32-0, and Gola got the win over Tippecanoe Valley by a score of 21-6. And one more in Sectional 26, it was West Noble shutting out the Concordia Cadets by a score of 42-0. Moving on to Sectional 28 tonight, it was Mississinewa over Oak Hill 21-7. Jay County shut out Belmont 35-0. Norwell defeated Heritage tonight by a score of 24-6, and it was Bishop Luers defeating Delta on the road 38-7. Moving on to Class 2A tonight in Sectional 35, it was Manchester shutting out Prairie Heights 42-0. Eastside shuts out Whitco tonight 48-0. Adams Central, you mentioned it, Brett. It was Adams Central over Central Noble 70-13. Bluffton wins by 1 point over Cherubusco 39-38. Moving down to Class 1A Sectional 43, it was North Miami over Northfield 47-6. Triton over Southern Wells 60-28, and Fremont defeated Blackhawk Christian 48-10. Sectional 44, it was South Adams over Madison Grant 45-28. Tri over West Dell 45-7. Monroe Central over Cambridge City Lincoln 49-0, and Hagerstown got the win over Union City 31-13. A couple bonus scores here for you, Brett. The Fort Wayne Comets are in action tonight on the road, taking on the Cincinnati Cyclones. They are down 3-1 with 10 minutes to go in the third period. And Purdue men's basketball tonight had an exhibition against the Kentucky Wildcats. Kentucky takes that one over the Purdue Boilermakers by a score of 78-65.
What?
Kentucky over Purdue 78-65.
We we did not think that Purdue could lose a game with this roster. I mean, number one team in the country, and they lost already?
Yeah, by 13.
Well, at least it doesn't count.
Yeah, at least it's an exhibition. But hey, we saw that last year, I think, too, when they went to play in their exhibition match. They lost.
Well, they played.
Was it
I can't
Arkansas?
remember who they played last year. 2 years ago, I think they played Arkansas.
Oh, that was 2 years ago.
And then they ended up, I think they ended up after losing to Arkansas, they ended up going to the championship game. So maybe it's a good omen.
Maybe, but definitely need to get that offense going. Losing by 13, Kentucky putting up 78, Purdue just 65.
All right, so we will keep rolling with our high school football. We're going to not only keep up on any of the scores. By the way, I'm being told that in that Bluffton Cherubusco game, it was a touchdown. Axton Best had a 32-yard touchdown pass to Aaron Streveler with 1:53 left. Then they completed the 2-point conversion on another pass to Streveler to lead and finish it off 39-38.
Wow.
After Busco had come from behind to take a 38-31 lead. Best finished that game 18 of 24, 253 yards passing. He had 2 touchdowns, also rushed for 71 more yards. Cooper Craig, 110 yards on the ground with a couple of touchdowns. Grant Sievers, 164 yards rushing on 20 carries for Busco. And Bryce Lawrence, the Busco quarterback, had a touchdown pass, 98 rushing yards, and a touchdown on the ground. So really solid performance for both of those teams. And we knew that was probably going to be a pretty competitive game. Turned out to be exactly that. And Bluffton then advances in that Class 2A sectional. And again, it sets up a big one. Bluffton versus AC coming up next week. All right, we got a lot to get through. We got another hour. We're going to try to get a couple of coaches to jump on and join us. Love to talk to our coaches during this show. We've got another hour. We take you up to Bob Lovell and Indiana Sports Talk at 11 o'clock. And of course, Bob Lovell, the coach, will take us around the entire state of Indiana we're going to stay focused on what happened here in Northeast Indiana. I am live right now, as you might or might not be able to tell, at the East DuPont Pizza Hut. So for all of you people making your way back into town, stop by, pick up a pizza, pick up an order. Maybe you want to get some wings or whatever it might be. You can order ahead on the app. You can pick it up when you get here. It's convenient. You can say hi. Love to talk to you. Right now, it's just me and the skeleton sitting here in the counter service Pizza Hut. It's not a big place. I'm on this side. I got the skeleton on the other side. But you can come on by and see us. I'd like to have some company other than the skeleton. The skeleton's not very conversational. All right, we'll take a break. We're going to come back another hour on the other side. You're watching or listening to the Kester's Postgame Show live from Pizza Hut on 1380 The Fan and 100.9 FM.
Cruising. And welcome back to the Kester's Postgame Show powered by Pizza Hut. I'm Adam Lundy coming to you live from the mic. My man Brett Rump is up at the Pizza Hut at East DuPont, just down the road from Leo High School, where tonight in our Midwest Box Breaks High School football game of the week, you heard the Bishop Dwenger Saints handle the Leo Lions by a score of 31-7 in a 4A sectional first round matchup. And Brett, you mentioned that you want to get a couple coaches on tonight. We're going to work on that, but who on your mind would you like to talk to tonight after hearing about some of those final scores?
I have no idea. I haven't looked at the scoreboard yet. Putting me on the spot.
Hey, I don't mean to put you on the spot.
Yeah, I mean, it's very difficult because I don't have a tech, so I'm trying to work on technical issues and once I get into the actual connection, I have no scores in front of me. So I'm still kind of working through that, trusting you to take care of that side of it. But
Okay.
Clearly, there's coaches we would like to talk to that had some victories tonight, and I'm trying to see if I can find some of the scores from today's games because right now I have nothing.
Hey, that's okay.
I have nothing.
We'll let you catch
Why
back
don't
up.
you go ahead? Why don't we do a H&K Chevrolet of New Haven high school football scoreboard? Maybe I'll try to listen this time instead of trying to fix all of my equipment, which I have issues with on Fridays. So I'll try to listen and see who's actually won, who's lost, and what we've got ahead for next week.
Sounds good. We're going to go ahead and let you catch up while we bring you the H&K Chevrolet of New Haven High School football scoreboard. We're going to start in Class 4A, Sectional 19 tonight, where it was Southside over Wayne, 52-14. East Noble got the win over New Haven, 48-12. Columbia City defeated DeKalb tonight, 16-10. And in our Midwest Box Breaks High School football game of the week, it was Bishop Dwenger over the Leo Lions, 31-7. Moving on to Sectional 20 tonight, it was Lebanon over Culver Academy, 39-13. Muncie Central over Marion, 48-21, and Logansport defeated Huntington North by a score of 15-12. Moving down to Class 3A in Sectional 26, it was Garrett over Fairfield, 7-0. Lakeland shut out Woodland tonight, 32-0. It was Angola over Tippecanoe Valley, 21-6, and West Noble shut out Concordia tonight, 42-0. On to Sectional 28, where it was Mississinewa over Oak Hill by a score of 21-7. Jay County defeated Belmont 35-0. Norwell over Heritage 24-6, and it was Bishop Luers defeating Delta on the road tonight 38-7. Moving on to Class 2A, Sectional 35, it was Manchester shutting out Prairie Heights 42-0. Eastside shuts out Whitco 48-0. Adams Central big over Central Noble tonight 70-13, and Bluffton with a 1-point win over Churubusco 39-38. Moving down to Class 1A, Sectional 43, it was North Miami over Northfield 47-6. Triton over Southern Wells 60-28, and Fremont defeated Blackhawk Christian 48-10. Sectional 44, it was Hagerstown over Union City 31-13. Monroe Central over Cambridge City Lincoln 49-0. South Adams defeated Madison Grant 45-28, and it was Tri over West Dell by a score of 45-7. Your bonus scores for tonight: the Purdue men's basketball team had an exhibition against the Kentucky Wildcats. Kentucky defeats Purdue in that exhibition tonight by a score of 78-65. And taking a look at the Fort Wayne Comets in action on the road against the Cincinnati Cyclones tonight, Fort Wayne is down in this one with just a few minutes remaining in the third period. It is Cincinnati 3, Fort Wayne 1, and there's about 10 minutes remaining in the third period. So that's a look at your scoreboard, Brett.
All right, I'm still working.
Hey, that's okay.
Now I've got like pop-up boxes showing up on my screen, and now I'm trying to figure out. I am not the technology person. I told them I would never be able to figure all this stuff out, and so I'm trying. But we've got next week. Let's try to figure out some of these matchups, Adam, because I'm trying to look at scores, which is on one screen, and then I'm trying to go back and look at the potential matchups. If we start, 4A, let's start sectional 19, where Southside East Noble, and I believe that game is going to be at East Noble. So the Knights will be back at home after they defeated New Haven. Southside got the win over Wayne. So it will be Southside traveling to Kendallville to take on the East Noble Knights next Friday night.
Yes, sir. Southside at East Noble, Sectional 19 semifinal, as well as Columbia City at Bishop Dwenger.
Now, you had two teams on the bottom half that both won on the road. Yes. Columbia City won at DeKalb. Bishop Dwenger won at Leo. And the way you determine home teams, for those that aren't aware, it's who's ever had the fewest number of home games up to that point.
Gotcha.
Well, that means Columbia City and Bishop Dwenger were both on the road. Neither is at a home game. So now you have to default to the next tiebreaker in determining a home team, and that's whoever's the bottom team in the bracket. That is Bishop Dwenger. So Columbia City will have to be on the road for a second consecutive week after getting the win at DeKalb. Now Columbia City goes to Shields Field to take on Bishop Dwenger, and the winners, of course, will meet. Now, what this means, with East Noble getting home games in both the first and second round, and Bishop Dwenger being on the road tonight, it does mean next week, if East Noble and Bishop Dwenger win, and they'll go into their games as favorites, you would have East Noble at Bishop Dwenger for the sectional championship coming up in 2 weeks.
That would be a doozy. That would be a good one.
All right, sectional, let's see, 3A.
Yeah.
We'll go to sectional 26. What a win for Garrett. 7-0. Is that the
Defense.
final?
Yeah, that's your final.
7-0 Garrett over Fairfield. So Garrett advances after a road win. Lakeland won at home over Woodland. So now Lakeland will go to Garrett next Friday night to take on the Railroaders. Bottom half of the bracket. Angola a winner at home. West Noble a winner at home. So therefore it defaults to the bottom team of the bracket. It will be Angola at West Noble next Friday night. So you'll have Garrett at home against Lakeland, West Noble at home against Angola. Winners of those games will meet for a sectional championship the following week. In sectional 28, big win for Norwell. You want to talk about coaches that'd be fun to have on? Norwell had a tough year, but what a way to just to wipe the slate clean and go out and beat up on a Heritage team tonight, 24-6. They won that on the road, and Bishop Luers was also on the road. That means in the bottom half of sectional 28, Norwell will be at Bishop Luers Field next Friday night. So Norwell at Bishop Luers next Friday night. Meanwhile, Jay County got the win at Belmont, while Mississinawa was winning at Oak Hill. Mississinawa is going to go to Jay County next Friday night for a sectional semifinal in 3A in sectional 28. Now we go to 2A. Manchester a winner at home, Eastside a winner at home, Manchester at Eastside next week. We also have Adams Central 70-13 was the final over Central Noble. They were up 70-0 at halftime, and obviously kind of called off the dogs and won that game 70-13. Cherubusco got knocked off at home by Bluffton. So Adams Central, a home game, Bluffton, a road game. That means Adams Central has to take the trip to Bluffton next Friday night in a semifinal. And believe me, beating a team once is difficult. Beating a team twice becomes even tougher. And that's what Adams Central is going to try to do, and try to do it at Bluffton again. So that'll be a fun win with the Tigers and the Eagles. What a comeback win for Bluffton tonight at Cherubusco. And then looking at 1A, I don't know if we had anybody survive. Oh, yeah, we had Fremont that knocked off Blackhawk Christian. And so Fremont will take on Southwood, and that will be at Fremont because Southwood was a team that got a bye, and bye teams can't host. So Fremont will get to host again next week, and they'll host Southwood.
I think
in 1A.
Brett, I'm seeing Southwood will be taking on North Miami. Fremont will take on Triton, who defeated Southern Wells, if I'm looking at the bracket correctly.
So they're not in order on my sheet. Okay.
No, they're not. They're not.
Okay. Well, that threw me off because I'm looking at the order of the scores to determine the bracket. So
you're good. Southwood had the bye, so it'll be them taking on North Miami. Fremont will take on Triton, who defeated Southern Wells.
Okay. So Triton was at home. Fremont was at home. If Fremont's in the bottom of that bracket, then Fremont would host Triton.
Yep, it'll be Fremont. They're at the bottom, so they will be hosting Triton.
Okay, there you go. There's what it looks like for next week. Once again, let's go ahead and get a full rundown of the scores. We just kind of told you who won, but let's go ahead and get the actual scores and check the H&K Chevrolet of New Haven High School football scoreboard.
All right, thanks, Brett. Starting off in Class 4A, Sectional 19, it was Southside over Wayne, 52-14. East Noble over New Haven, 48-12. Columbia City defeated DeKalb, 16-10. And in our Midwest Box Breaks game of the week, it was Bishop Dwenger over Leo, 31-7. Moving down to Sectional 20 in Class 4A, it was Lebanon over Culver Academy, 39-13. Muncie Central over Marion, 48-21. One more in Sectional 20, it was Logansport defeating Huntington North, 15-12. 12. Moving on to Class 3A Sectional 26, it was Garrett over Fairfield by a score of 7-0 in a defensive battle there. Lakeland shut out Woodland 32-0. It was Angola over Tippecanoe Valley 21-6. West Noble shut out Concordia 42-0. Moving on to Sectional 28 in Class 3A, it was Mississinewa over Oak Hill 21-7. Jay County shut out Belmont 35-0. Norwell over Heritage 24-6. Bishop Luers defeated Delta on the road 38-7. On to Class 2A Sectional 35, it was Manchester over Prairie Heights 42-0. Eastside defeated Whitco 48-0. Adams Central over Central Noble 70-13, and Bluffton over Churubusco 39-38. Class 1A Sectional 43, it was North Miami over Northfield 47-6, and Triton defeated Southern Wells 60-28, and Fremont over Blackhawk Christian 48-10. And in Sectional 44, it was Hagerstown over Union City 31-13, Monroe Central over Cambridge City Lincoln 49-0. South Adams over Madison Grant 45-28, and Tri over Westell 45-7. The Purdue Boilermakers men's basketball team fell to the Kentucky Wildcats in an exhibition match tonight by a score of 78-65. And taking a look at the Fort Wayne Comets, that game has gone final. It is a 3-1 win for the Cincinnati Cyclones. Brett.
You're talking exhibition basketball, Purdue, Kentucky. Coming up on Monday, the Mastodons will have a nice big exhibition game, taking on Ball State at the Gates Center. So I know a lot of people in Fort Wayne are Ball State fans. They're welcome to attend. Maybe we can convert a couple. But the Mastodons taking on Ball State out at the Gates Center on Monday night with an exhibition game. So there's your update on scores. We've got some coaches we're going to try to get a hold of. We'll keep you up to date with what's going to happen next week. And of course, we're going to invite 5A and 6A to the party starting next Friday night. I don't know if we'll be able to pick where we're going to be next Friday, looking at the schedule, but we can maybe talk about or debate that. Love to have the input from our listeners. Don't forget, if you are connected to us tonight, watching us in video form, jump onto our YouTube channel. It's at 1380 The Fan, right?
Yeah. Hey, I believe we might have Josh Gerber from Norwell in the Zoom. I don't know if he can hear us. Josh, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you guys.
Okay, perfect. How about that team win tonight? You got to be really proud of how you got the postseason started.
Yeah, really proud of our kids. It's been a long time since our last win in week 4. But our young kids have stayed the course. We've seen consistent growth from them, and it was nice to see it pay off in a win tonight.
What were some of the keys for you tonight?
Defensively, we were able to come up with a lot of stops. Trey Priven had 3 interceptions. That was huge for us. Offensively, we didn't finish as many drives in the end zone as what we wanted to, but we were able to find the end zone, get an early lead, and then just played outstanding defensively.
Coach, how did you approach this season? You obviously had some bumps in the road early. It looked like your team was improving as the year went on. Now it seems maybe playing your best football. How did you approach it? How did you get to this point?
Well, honestly, with just an approach, we're going to get a little bit better every day, a little bit better every week, and then hope to be a tough out when the playoffs roll around. And we've only got 7 seniors on the roster, and only 5 of them are still able to play. So our young kids have had to grow up, and just really proud of the way that they've done that, and really, really pleased with the leadership that our seniors have given us.
How much can you enjoy this tonight? It's a tough one coming up next Friday.
I felt really good. I mean, it's been a long time since we've got a win, and to go up to Bishop Luers. We were there last year for our first round game. We're excited for just another opportunity to play and to see what we can do.
Well, good luck to you, Coach. Congrats on a very impressive win tonight, and good luck next week and down the road in the tournament.
Yep.
Coach Josh Gerber joining us from the Norwell Knights. Winners tonight, 24-6 over the Heritage Patriots, I believe was the final score. So big congrats to Coach Gerber. That was a really impressive win. We will go ahead and take a timeout because we've got to get a break in. And so we'll go ahead and take that. And then we're going to come back plenty more as we lead you up to 11 o'clock. And the coach, Bob Lovell, with Indiana Sports Talk to give us a look at what's happening all around the state of Indiana. It's all part of a big Friday night of high school football coverage on 1380 The Fan and 100.9 FM.
for over
Actually, we are live at Pizza Hut on East DuPont as we made the road trip in from Leo. You can stop by. It's the Pizza Hut that's right here near the corner of DuPont and Tonko Road. We're broadcasting live up until 11 o'clock. It's a great place to use your app. If you're not using the Pizza Hut app, they aren't telling me to tell you what specials because I don't know what they prefer I promote, but I can tell you this: I'll promote what I buy because I get that $7.99 large one-topping pizza, and I get it way more than my wife approves of. I mean, I'm ordering that thing all the time, but I mean, $7.99. I
Oh,
was
yeah.
excited when it was $9.99. Now it's $7.99 for a large one-topping pizza, and you only add a buck, and you can get a pan pizza for $8.99. It's a great deal. And so you order it, you pick it up on a fly, you fly by, you just grab it and run, and you've got not only a bedtime snack because I know you're going home from high school football hungry, and then tomorrow you got lunch taken care of so you can have some pizza while you're watching college football, while you're watching IU beat up on UCLA. They're in Los Angeles, by the way, and the coach is different. But you've got your pizza for tomorrow. It's perfect. But yeah, I'm a very regular customer of Pizza Hut, so I am so thrilled to have them as a longtime sponsor of our post game show. Just terrific people, and they've been very supportive, especially this season. And we appreciate them so much in being one of our sponsors. Also, a big thanks to Kester's, first year sponsor as part of the post game show. Kester's out in New Haven. We appreciate them greatly and the support that they provide. And of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't toss in Midwest Box Breaks. Ben Smith had a huge day in the I think it was the Tops release day on Thursday. Huge day. Ben's in a great mood. He's going to come out to casino night and join me tomorrow night for the Mastodons casino night. But Midwest Box Breaks, one of those kind of people that all he ever wants to do is to give back to the community. That's all he wants to do. Just an unbelievable guy with great character, great ethics. If you're into the hobby at all of collecting cards, Ben Smith at Midwest Box Breaks is the guy to know. He's online at midwestboxbreaks.net. They've got plenty of breaks and auctions and everything going on, so you can check that out. So anyway, just taking care of some housekeeping here.
Hey, you got to do it, man.
So tonight we had the Bishop Dwenger Saints defeating the Leo Lions in a game that was 31-0 up until the final minute and a half. And then Leo finally scored. And the final score was 31-7. Houston Ellinger, 11 carries for 70 yards on the ground at a TD, a couple of catches for 110 yards. And Henry Jordan, who, if you look at his statistics, not that impressive. You'd say, well, kind of subpar because he's not even a 50% completion percentage. But tonight, he was 8 for 11, 198 yards, had a 14-yard touchdown run. Here's the thing, Adam, and I always feel like this. In high school sports, and this isn't just football, this is high school sports in its entirety. I always feel like the team that has the experienced seniors that have felt the disappointment of a loss as a sophomore or junior, they are going to be teams that are very difficult to knock out. Why? Because they know the pain of losing and they don't want to end their high school career with that same pain because there's no making up for it. So you get these teams that are senior led and they end up pulling these upsets, and you find teams that make runs that have no business making a run. And so Henry Jordan, a Dwenger team that's got a number of seniors, a Bishop Dwenger team that's led by a senior quarterback. They got a very impressive win tonight. Henry Jordan was a big part of it, but probably a bigger part of it, the Bishop Dwenger defense. My goodness, they just absolutely put the clamps. I don't know how many tackles for loss they had, but I would guess 7 or 8 throughout the game. And Nate Foster just could never get anything going. I think he had an 8-yard run. That might have been the biggest run he had. He had a long catch out of the backfield in the receiving game, but just an unbelievable night for the Bishop Dwenger defense, shutting down an offense that had been scoring 33 points a game. Now the test next week is you've got a Bishop Dwenger offense going up against Columbia City defense. They showed what they could do by shutting down DeKalb tonight. So we thought tonight might be a defensive battle, but Bishop Dwenger's offense was just better than Leo's defense. And Leo's defense got put in some tough positions because of the turnovers, and they just weren't good enough to get the stops after their offense kind of let them down. 3 turnovers for Leo, none for Bishop Dwenger. That was huge in tonight's game. But overall, nice win for Bishop Dwenger all around. The SAC champs showed why they're the SAC champs. Now they advance into the semifinals next week.
Yeah, you said it. Just really, really good defense all around, all season from Bishop Dwenger. They're a team that throughout the season has allowed their opponents an average of 8 points per game. Their most points allowed was against the offensive talent that we've seen was against Northrop, and they gave up 21 to Northrop in an 18-21 loss. But like you said, they've just been able to step up and limit some very powerful offenses that we've seen throughout the year. Tonight it was Nate Foster and the Leo Lions.
I think it's 7 out of 10. I'm doing this off the top of my head. 7 out of 10 that they have held to a touchdown or less.
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, 7.
7 out of 10 games they've held their opponent to a touchdown or less. It is tough to score on that Bishop Dwenger defense. All right, let's go ahead and get caught up. Let's find out who beat who tonight. It is time for the H&K Chevrolet of New Haven High School Football Scoreboard.
All right, thanks, Brett. We're going to start off in Class 4A, Sectional 19 tonight, where it was Southside over Wayne, 52-14. East Noble got the win over New Haven, 48-12. Columbia City over DeKalb 16-10, and Bishop Dwenger defeated Leo 31-7 in our Midwest Box Breaks high school football game of the week. Sectional 20 in Class 4A, it was Lebanon over Culver Academy 39-13, Muncie Central over Marion 48-21, and Logansport defeated Huntington North by a score of 15-12. So mostly local teams eliminated from that sectional. Moving on to Class 3A, Sectional 26, it was Garrett getting the win over Fairfield in a close one, 7-0. Lakeland got the win over Woodland tonight by a score of 32-0. Angola over Tippecanoe Valley 21-6, and West Noble shut out the Concordia Cadets tonight by a score of 42-0. Moving on to Sectional 28 in Class 3A tonight, it was Mississinawa over Oak Hill by a score of 21-7. Jay County defeated Belmont 35-0. Norwell over Heritage by a score of 24-6, and Bishop Luers defeated Delta on the road by a score of 38-7. On to Class 2A tonight, Sectional 35, it was Manchester shutting out Prairie Heights 42-0, and Eastside shutting out Whitco 48-0. Adams Central defeated Central Noble 70-13, and it was Bluffton defeating Churubusco 39-38. In Class 1A, Sectional 43, it was North Miami over Northfield 47-6, Triton over Southern Wells 60-28, and Fremont defeated Black Hawk Christian 48-10. Sectional 44 in Class 1A, Hagerstown over Union City 31-13, Monroe Central over Cambridge City Lincoln 49-0, and South Adams defeated Madison Grant 45-28, and it was Tri over West Dell by a score of 45-7. Two bonus scores for you tonight, Brett. The Cincinnati Cyclones defeat the Fort Wayne Comets on the road tonight by a score of 3-1, and Purdue men's basketball in an exhibition against the Kentucky Wildcats falls 78-65.
You got to get me caught up, Adam. I missed the Madison Grant at South Adams score.
Gotcha. It was 45-28 South Adams over Madison Grant.
Okay. And I know just looking here about the Bishop Luers, is there anybody better at putting a season together, preparing a team to make a postseason run than Kyle Lindsay right now? I mean, think of what he's done year after year, whether they're a contender in the SAC, whether they're bottom of the SAC, doesn't matter. Throw the regular season out. Bishop Luers is going to be prepared to play good football in late October and November, and they do it year after year. I mean, 38-7 over Delta. Now, I know Delta didn't have one of the great Delta years. They were about a 500 football team, but that's a solid road win for Bishop Luers tonight. Very impressive. And like I said, I think Kyle Lindsay's kind of built a formula for how to get a team and develop them through the season and prepare them for when the real season starts. Also, want to say this, Adam. Want to take a moment and just congratulate all the seniors that saw their high school careers end tonight.
Yeah.
It's always one of the tough things. We sometimes just move on and forget that there's a lot of kids that are really hurting tonight because their high school seasons came to an end. That's the disappointing part of postseason play. And we have been entertained by so many great seniors that are not going to be back on the field. And selfishly, we take more from them than they get from us. But the reality is we've been blessed to watch some terrific athletes who are no longer going to be playing high school football. We wish them nothing but the best in the future, whether that is an athletic career, whether it's in another sport, whether it is in the business world, whatever they plan to do with their future. But we've got to take a moment. Just remember all of the seniors that are feeling a little bit of pain tonight in the realization. I remember my senior year losing my final basketball game.
Mm-hmm.
And it was normal pain of losing. You never like to lose, right?
Right.
But where it hit me was when I took off that uniform. And all of a sudden you realize that's it. I'm turning this in and I'm never going to be playing with this uniform on. 3 years of varsity basketball done. And I wasn't going to play college basketball. I was going to go on to play college baseball, which made ending my baseball season a little bit easier because I knew I had a future in baseball. But that last moment of taking off that jersey, and a lot of players are doing it tonight. By the way, just getting some numbers. Titus Lehman, the quarterback for South Adams in that 45-28 win, 20 of 29 passing for 322 yards.
Wow.
He had 4 touchdowns through the air, ran for another 50 on the ground, and Wesley Somerset had 8 catches for 164 yards and a couple of touchdowns. Also 100 yards on the ground for Will Patterson, officially 9 carries for 112 yards and a touchdown. So big night for South Adams, and Grant Mosier gets a win. They now advance. Now, who do they play next week? Do you have that?
Yeah, I have it here in just a second while we talk about this. But yeah, it was just another dominant win for the Starfires, no question about it. But that offense is crazy. Here, I'm pulling up the bracket now.
Just want to make sure that they're in order because according to what I've got, South Adams will be at Tri next week.
That is
But
what
I
I
don't know
have
that
as
that's
well.
100. You got that?
That is what I have. Yep. Tri beat Westdell tonight at home. South Adams beat Madison Grant at home. So Tri's at the bottom of the bracket. So it's going to be South Adams at Tri.
There we go. All right. So that's what we've got to look forward to for next week. But, like I said, the game we saw, Dwenger, Leo, didn't end up being the nail biter we thought it might be. We thought this is going to be an interesting battle because you got the best from the SAC against a contender from the NE8. We knew that the NE8 had some good teams at the top. East Noble, obviously, DeKalb, Leo. Well, here's what's amazing. 2 of those 3 are done.
Yeah.
DeKalb and Leo both knocked out. East Noble survived tonight. Didn't have a great first half, but they put the game away with a big third quarter against New Haven. But East Noble, the beneficiary of a fairly easy bracket. Now, it's gonna be fun to watch Southside go into East Noble. Can they compete with the Knights next Friday night? SAC, NE8, but a really good NE8 team in East Noble.
Yeah.
And that'll be the matchup next week.
Yeah, I mean, I as of right now, I'm going to give it to East Noble until I'm proven otherwise. A couple comments we've gotten here on our show. You've got Mr. Vegas weighing in on the YouTube stream. He's letting us know that Toronto is now up 11-2 in the 6th inning of Game 1 of the World Series. Apparently, Toronto hit a grand slam to make it 9-2 in the 6th inning, and now it's 11-2 from another home run. Somebody else texted in. They want to talk to you. They want to talk to you hopefully at some point about considering coaching football. So we'll let you get to that message at a later point, but we appreciate all the text messages coming in.
All right. Let's go ahead and take a timeout.
Yeah.
We're going to hopefully snag at least one more coach before we finish up at 11 o'clock. We're also going to get another look at the H&K Chevrolet of New Haven high school football scoreboard. Plenty still ahead. And if you are watching us on YouTube, or if you can watch us on YouTube, make sure you click that subscribe button. Make sure you give us a thumbs up. And we'd love to have your comments, whether they come through YouTube, through Facebook, wherever you might be watching us tonight. And of course, we always appreciate those that over the years have made us a staple of their Friday night drive home from high school football. That's a big thanks from us to you. We will take a timeout. You are listening to the Kester's Postgame Show, coming to you live from the Pizza Hut on East DuPont at Tonkel on 1380 The Fan and 100.9 FM. We might be close to finishing up our portion of Friday night high school football, but we are far from finished here at 1380 The Fan and 100.9 FM because we've got the coach, Bob Lovell, coming up at 11 o'clock, taking you up until midnight. Of course, it's Indiana Sports Talk, and he's got all the statewide scores. He's going to talk to coaches around the state. So stick with us all the way up until midnight tonight. And then don't forget, coming up tomorrow, another big weekend of college football. How about that? And we've got the Pacers tomorrow night. So
Yeah.
Indiana, pardon?
Oh, I was just going to say, yeah, getting ready for Indiana tomorrow. And now, of course, it's the popular pick to think that UCLA is going to be upsetting the Hoosiers. I don't see it, but it just seems like a lot of the talking heads are picking the UCLA Bruins for clicks. I don't know, but I think Indiana can handle business.
Everybody thinks that Indiana will be exposed. And I say this because I go back to last year, all year long, it was Indiana's not dominant. The schedule they're playing is just really weak. And they're beating teams like Nebraska by 50 points, but it's not Indiana. It's just Nebraska is just a weak team on their schedule. And then you see a Nebraska go and play Ohio State and play them almost even. This year, you've got similar situations. You've got Indiana blowing the doors off Illinois, and then Ohio State and Illinois having a fairly close battle. And we've got to, at some point, come to the realization Indiana's for real, people. This isn't some kind of a smoke and mirrors performance by Kurt Cignetti and the Indiana Hoosiers. They are a good football team, much like the Colts. Somebody's got to buy in. This Colts team is for real. They're talented at the wide receiver. They have got a quarterback that's playing at an extremely high level. They've got a running back who's as good as anybody in the National Football League, even maybe Saquon Barkley. I mean, you look at Barkley, you look at Jonathan Taylor. I mean, we have got a great year going in Indiana because we've got the Hoosiers, we've got the Colts, Pacers. What a game they had to open up their season last night. Fever, they overachieved with a broken down roster, and they still found a way to get to the semifinals of the WNBA. It's been a darn great year with what's been accomplished by our teams in this state. And now we're into the postseason of high school football. We're excited to see which of our local teams can make it down to Lucas Oil Stadium. I hope there's more than one. I hope there's not zero. I hope that, 3 or 4 teams can make a run down to Lucas Oil Stadium so that we've got a very busy Thanksgiving weekend and continue this momentum that we've built up with a great year of sports here in Indiana. And because we've been spoiled this year. I mean, getting the Pacers all the way to the NBA Finals, all the way to a 7th game. Seriously? I mean, sign me up.
Yeah.
And then they take on that same team and almost knock them off. Not only did they have like 3 guys out of the lineup because of injury, but then they started losing guys to foul trouble and an injury during the game to Nemhard, and they still almost beat Oklahoma City. In fact, they should have. They kind of blew it. But what a game that was. I'm pumped up, Adam. I feel good about where our sports are in this state. I love the fact that we've got so many good football teams in our area. Adams Central, so impressive. 70-0 at halftime. Adams Central had the lead. And this take nothing away. And I'm not trying to rub this into Central Noble.
No question. Yeah.
This is a testament to just the football factory that has been built in Monroe, Indiana.
Insanity.
They are unbelievable. And then you've got Bishop Dwenger putting up defense like you haven't seen defense played in this town for a long time. Can they ride that defense all the way to a state championship? What will they do against a team like East Noble? It's got so many weapons and an experienced quarterback who can really sling it. He can run it. He can hand it off, and he's got Austin Phillips to carry it. I mean, my opinion tonight, after seeing what Bishop Dwenger did with Leo, is I don't know that Dwenger gets stopped from going down to Indianapolis.
No, I mean you'd have to consider that they would be the favorite, and it should be a team that goes down to Lucas Oil out of sectional 19. Just looking at the bracket, I think that they have what it takes to not only beat Columbia City but beat the winner of East Noble and Southside. So, yeah, I think Columbia City is going to be running into that Bishop Dwenger defense next Friday.
If we go by common opponents, and you look at Bishop Dwenger versus Leo and Leo versus East Noble. One game, East Noble had difficulty slowing down or stopping the Leo offense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The Calb had trouble stopping the Leo offense. Bishop Dwenger dominated the Leo offense, took everything away. I mean, a couple of passes that got completed, and Titus Stoller had a pretty nice game as the Leo quarterback. Hey, in fact, talking about this game, this Bishop Dwenger game, I want to go ahead because Coach Garrett has got a busy night going on. I'm sure he's probably already trying to find the film room so he can start studying for next week. But Coach Garrett joining us here on the Kester's postgame show. Coach, that defense, we've seen it twice this year. Dominant. What were the keys tonight for you?
Well, it was a big night for our defense. Just playing disciplined. We knew the firepower that they had, and I think Coach Nepper and those guys had them well prepared. Essentially, their quarterback runs is what got us, and we were just a little bit over aggressive on our shuffles there backside. But other than that, I thought our guys played very disciplined and yet still be aggressive and physical.
It's interesting, Coach, that you talk about the quarterback runs because we thought you probably keyed on Nate Foster, and knowing and keying on Nate Foster, you might expose some things if they were to run it with the quarterback. But you did one heck of a job taking Nate Foster away, and that's something nobody really has done much of in his career.
Yeah, that's Coach Nepper, and that's our group of guys on that side of the ball. They're seasoned veterans, and they're just doing an outstanding job. They buy in and had a great scheme, and they executed it almost perfectly for us.
Coach, the defense gets so much credit for your football team. Offensively, it's not put up the big numbers, but it's an opportunistic offense. You got the opportunities, you cashed in. I think you had 17 points, if our calculation was correct, off of turnovers, led by Henry Jordan. And we want to talk a little bit about Henry because we've seen some pretty gaudy statistics from some of the quarterbacks. Those don't show up next to Henry's name, but he's a leader. He's a kid that makes everybody around him better. They love to play with him and for him. What can you tell us that we don't know about Henry Jordan?
Well, you just said a lot right there. I mean, it starts with who he is. We're blessed that he's staying healthy this season. So as far as the number of starts and things, I think he's just starting to get into his groove. We said at the end of the night, it's the calmest he's been. I thought it's the best he's managed our offense. A lot of times, it's situational offense with our defense the way it's been playing. It's just game management. And tonight he cut it loose a little bit. I thought we hit some explosive plays tonight. I thought he read things well. A little bit of the RPO showed up tonight. He did a great job with that, and then managed the clock in the second half once we got a lead that we thought our defense could stay with. And I think it was a night where we put all three facets together, and we got to continue to get better. But it's very encouraging. All three facets. Lucas hits a 50-yard field goal. Our defense plays outstanding, and then our offense puts 31 points up, throwing and running it. So we leave here very encouraged. We're going to get healthier. We're looking at maybe getting Gus back in the backfield soon, getting some other guys back. So it's the healthiest we've been in 3 years, and that's a big testimony to how we're playing as well.
Speaking Gus, I thought I saw him out on the field for warmups. Was he cleared or not cleared yet?
Yeah, it's a great question. So how would you say it? Roughly cleared. We're going to see how he looks next week. He's good to cut it loose in practice. So there's a clearance there, but we want to make sure he's good. So we're encouraged. Yeah, he's doing warm-ups and he's ready to go, but we got to get the practices in.
One moment that stands out to me in the game tonight, Leo ran a little, almost a little wheel out of the backfield and got it to Foster for a big game down the sideline. I don't know if it was the very next series, but it wasn't long after you ran the same darn play. Did you take that from their offense? Because you turned it into a big play on your side.
Yeah, it's kind of that throwback screen. I think everybody's got it. You hit it at the right moment. They hit it at the right moment, and Coach Russell called an outstanding game tonight. Him and Coach Fabini up in the box, and we hit it at the right moment. I think we hit it twice. We hit it with Ellie, and then hit it again. So it's just one of those plays. When you hit it, it works great. When you don't, it either hits or it doesn't. Both teams hit it tonight. So.
Well, if it worked against our defense, why aren't we running that play? We got to go out and run that play. Hey, great job tonight, Coach. Very impressive.
Nobody makes anything up. You just kind of copy off each other.
Yeah, it's a good game of theft. You just steal from everybody else. Coach, congrats. Great win tonight. And look forward to seeing you again down the road.
Appreciate you guys reaching out. Thanks for all you do.
Yep, that is Coach Jason Garrett, the Bishop Dwenger Saints, with a win tonight, 31-7 over the Leo Lions. We're going to take a timeout, and we are going to come back a final time here on the Kester's postgame show live at Pizza Hut East DuPont on 1380 The Fan and 100.9 FM.
The Fan and 100.9 FM.
Once again, we want to thank you for joining us for our Friday night of high school football coverage. Don't forget, if you do happen to watch our show, we are on YouTube, we're on Facebook. And if you're watching on YouTube, we'd appreciate you giving us that thumbs up. Also, subscribing to the channel so you don't miss any of our live shows. But we've got to get caught up on all the finals tonight. Who's moving on and who is moving on to winter sports? Let's find out. Adam Lundy has the H&K Chevrolet of New Haven high school football scoreboard.
All right, thanks, Brett. In Class 4A, Sectional 19, it was Southside over Wayne, 52-14. East Noble over New Haven, 48-12. Columbia City defeated DeKalb, 16-10, and it was Bishop Dwenger over Leo, 31-7 in our Midwest Box Breaks high school football game of the week. In Sectional 20 of Class 4A, it was Lebanon over Culver Academy, 39-13. Muncie Central over Marion, 48-21. And Logansport defeated Huntington North tonight, 15-12. Moving on to Class 3A, in Sectional 26, it was Garrett over Fairfield, 7-0. Lakeland shut out Woodland, 32-0. It was Angola defeating Tippecanoe Valley by 21-6, and West Noble shut out the Concordia Cadets, 42-0. Sectional 28 in Class 3A, it was Mississinewa over Oak Hill, 21-7. Jay County shut out Belmont, 35-0. It was Norwell over Heritage, 24-6, and Bishop Luers defeated Delta on the road, 38-7. In Class 2A, Sectional 35, it was Manchester shutting out Prairie Heights, 42-0. Eastside over Whitco, 48-0. Adams Central defeated Central Noble, 70-13, and Bluffton got the win over Churubusco, 39-38. In Class 1A, Sectional 43, North Miami over Northfield, 47-6. Southern Wells fell to Triton. It was Triton over Southern Wells, 60-28, and Fremont got the win over Blackhawk Christian, 48-10. Sectional 44 in Class 1A, Hagerstown over Union City, 31-13. Monroe Central over Cambridge City Lincoln, 49-0. South Adams over Madison Grant, 45-28, and Tri over West Dell, 45-7. Two bonus scores tonight: the Cincinnati Cyclones defeat the Fort Wayne Comets in Cincy, 3-1, and Purdue men's basketball loses to Kentucky in an exhibition tonight, 78-65.
Well, if we're giving bonus scores, I'll go ahead and throw in one more because we've got the Blue Jays over the Dodgers, 11-4 in the top of the 8th inning. So,
man,
Blue Jays,
they can mash it, man.
Knock off the Dodgers, at least in game one. All right, so next week we've got the semifinals, 5A, 6A added to the party. They'll be part of the mix, but what do you think? Big game next week. Who are you looking at, Adam?
It's got to be Bluffton hosting Adams Central in Sectional 35. I know, Adams Central's been dominant, but Bluffton has one more shot at this season, and I think that's going to be a heck of a matchup with the Bluffton Tigers hosting Adams Central.
That will definitely be a good one. In fact, that was mine. So now I've got to try to figure out. I'm going to try to figure out if I got another one.
That's the obvious one.
I'm going to go Snyder Northrop just for intrigue.
There you go. I like that.
That could be an interesting first-round matchup.
Snyder had that win to end their regular season, so we'll see if that momentum
comeback.
carries.
They're riding some momentum, so we've got that. All right, big thanks to everybody behind the scenes. Big thanks to those of you that have watched and listened. And, of course, Macy Gray, our producer, Adam Lundy, our scoreboard operator. I am Brett Rump. This wraps up another Friday night of high school football with the Kester's postgame show, live from Pizza Hut on East DuPont on 1380 The Fan and 100.9 FM.